make a difference, but oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there is that.
You're fine.
Not getting any signal from those overheads, which stinks, but it's not a deal breaker because we're still getting the.
Let's see. You're all plugged in. So that's always the path of least resistance. Is it anything over here, Samuel? Does pre-Sonos need to be on?
No, but that will be your headphones. Did you bring headphones?
I did. I brought some just in case.
Okay.
Like just
cool. Why don't... Here, I'm gonna...
That sounds so good. Damn. A little blanket in there. It's probably what I need to put in mine, honestly.
Do you not have anything in yours?
No.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Is that the trick of it? I've heard like, I've heard like there's different, like everybody's got their system, you know? Like some guys will put like a pillow or a blanket, but that's definitely the trick. I'm gonna have to take your advice on that, young.
And that little thing that the beater's hitting gives it a little bit more like punch.
I've got one of those, but I definitely don't have. I need to get something in there to just deaden it. They're working?
Yeah, I think so. So we're good on the drums. I'm just gonna rock the bass.
No problem.
Tuned up and stuff. Although we can take a little break in between our chat and make sure all this is still set up.
Yeah, and I brought my guitar pedal board. Man, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a looper.
Is it literally just a looper?
It's got some effects in there, but they're not great.
That's nuts.
They're supposed to be great, but they're like digital. I think the trick is that I need to hook it in, like USB it up to my computer and make the custom.
You can load stuff in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just definitely a lot of more moving parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I brought my whole pedal board because I figured like if you wanted to talk about pedals, we got that.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's 8 p.m. now. You want to just get on there? This is only episode 2, and it's like, I think a lot of what we can talk about is just setting up, you know, or like,
Yeah.
how it's very fresh, you know?
Oh, without a doubt, man.
All right. I think actually, oh no, they can't hear us, but they're about to be able to. So, I did figure out how to get 2 camera angles going at once.
That's
so
sweet.
I'm pretty proud of myself. Here, let's go ahead and say hey. And it looks like we have 1 viewer, a couple of viewers. That's great.
Cool.
I don't know who it is, but so I think we're gonna do just the straight ahead shot. And now we're live. It's happening. That's great. So we're getting sound. Oh, maybe I should say hello. Sam Irvin here with Skye, Ferrell.
What's up, guys?
Ferrell? Ferrell.
You got either way.
Oh, okay.
Either way.
All right. An old buddy and a great rock drummer, rock guitarist, metal dude. Would you go as far as saying you're a metal dude?
In my younger days.
Yeah, the hair's pretty short to be a metal dude these days.
And I forgot my tattoos.
Left him at home. So yeah, this is Irvin Music Studio in Asheville, North Carolina. Looks like we have a couple of viewers, but that's not what it's all about right now. I get to see a friend. We're gonna chat it up and jam, and you know, who knows? People could come back and listen to these in the future after I've been doing it for a while and see what we've talked about. But I think a lot of what we'll talk about is just the structure going forward of this live show or live stream or whatever.
Cool.
And music and your relationship to music and just the gear here and how we're broadcasting and try to brainstorm that. I hope you'll let me brainstorm that with you. That's one of my first guests.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, before we get into just chatting it up, I'm just going to give you a little rundown of like what's happening with the broadcast. We've got these Q2Ns, which are nice Zoom cameras, and by nice I mean cheap, but they do the job.
Efficient.
They've got a pretty good microphone going on, so it's capturing our voice right now, no problem. We can see the level there, but I'm also gonna just turn on that mic to give a couple of sources there. Hopefully they'll blend and not cause like a weird echo or delay, but I won't know until I check this out tomorrow. We've also got another Q2N over there above your head if you look up, and I'm calling that my overhead shot here on OBS. I'm using OBS to stream to Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and Twitter, not LinkedIn though. And I am gonna set up my Instagram too. So in order to do that on a stream, I'll explain it while I do it, so it's not just dead air.
Cool.
You have to use a third-party app called Yellow Duck. And I'm not sure why. This is just to be able to live stream on a computer. I think anybody can live stream on Instagram on your phone.
Cool.
But on a computer, you have to go through this extra step, which is sort of a pain, but that's okay. And the big pain about it is that you have to use a brand new RTMP every time. Along with the stream key, which you can see just looks like gobbledygook. And so I'm almost complete getting that in there. Let's see if that hooks us up with Instagram. Who knows who might be seeing this? I mean, we've got a couple hundred followers on Facebook, Irvin Music Studio, from like wedding clients and students. Last week we had a student commenting on YouTube, and we were like able to chat with him. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, interactive.
Yeah. All right, that did work, and we could see what's going on here. You know, a little bit delayed on the restream. But this is us. I did not set up the lighting today, so that's there's no light coming at us this way. That's
Looks good,
something to work on. Thanks. Yeah, it's coming together.
Yeah.
I might want us to be a little bit more centered. How about that? This is the professional level of the live stream at the moment. I tried to warn you.
By hand.
Exactly. Just check out my palm, audience. So I've also got this wacky shot from behind us.
Cool.
And it was like my big project this week to figure out how to get them
Music's all about your hair, too. Making sure it's still there. You know, on that back shot.
The back of your head.
Yeah, that way I can make sure.
I mean, we're getting that age. You know. You never know when that's going to start happening. I shouldn't jinx this.
Look at
Really, I'm getting nervous. I'm trying to make my hair as big as possible.
Hedge bet.
Yeah, exactly. While I got it. I've been hitting the pool a lot, and I just let the chlorine like totally destroy my hair. And I think it's really doing it.
That's good. You gotta tear it down to build it back.
That's right. Yeah. I like the high and tightness you got going on.
I figured it would keeps me aerodynamic.
That's right. When you're like drumming, and when you're headbanging. So my big project this week was to figure out how to combine the feeds like this.
Awesome.
You know? So when we're jamming later, somebody can be watching you, and somebody can be, or the audience will be both watching you and me.
Cool. Yeah, that's excellent.
It is pretty cool. Or when I'm doing synth demos by myself, one camera can be on the synths, and one can be on like my really concentrated face.
Yeah.
You know. I get really serious when I play music. I think some people like, you know, have that like happy-go-lucky sort of performer smile.
I'm the same way. I'm like really concentrated. Unfortunately, my mouth moves unintentionally.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is good, you know. Like I think it's important, whatever way it comes out. You know, whether it's loose, whether it's, you know, tighter, whatever it may be. You know, I had someone tell me one time, you know, as long as you make it to the note, doesn't matter. You know, you could be moving your feet or whatever it is, you know, make it to the note, make it to the rhythm you want and enjoy it.
Yeah, it really is about like enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I should have put my phone on silent before we started. My apologies.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot on this podcast already. So tell me a little bit about like where you are musically. I know you got this group going.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play a lot throughout the week? Do you make a habit of it? Do you find a release in it? Like...
So, you know, I had 2 projects going simultaneously, and that was a blast. That was truly a blast. For me, it worked really well when both were going. One has since discontinued. Just because, you know, we got busy, there's time, there's water under the bridge, and then, you know, somebody moves or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. But, you know, one
So
project...
wait, what was that project? The one that we're going to talk about less, I guess.
So the older one that's discontinued was, it was really concentrated on the Black Keys. Okay, not so much the band, so to say, but the style. Very minor pentatonic based, very simple. You don't need, you know, a lot of complexity to make some really cool sounding rock, we'll call it. Mm-hmm. So it was very, you know, Dan Auerbach heavy. So, I mean, like I mentioned, very minor pentatonic, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, it makes me think of the word jangly, or like sort of like a lot of like a tambourine on the hi-hat
Yes,
kind of vibe.
exactly. Yeah. So, you know, really flexible, really great. I played guitar in that project. You may hear, if I hop on one tonight, you may hear some of the kind of pentatonic stuff out of that project, just noodling.
Yeah, totally.
And that was great. Then I transitioned actually to drums. So it was, you know, one of those unforeseen passions that I kind of invoked upon because, you know, I was playing in the Black Keys project, okay, and what was going on is my drummer was having to lug all his stuff. So I live in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And
sure, you got one woo somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And he was lugging his whole kit. I'm talking cymbals, stands, everything, all the way from Asheville to Hendersonville every week.
That's a big ask.
Now that I've started drumming, I now realize what an ask that was.
Totally. I don't want to take that anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back then, I was like, man, why? You know, it was great. So.
Yeah, it's tempting to be like, well, that's your instrument, just bring it.
Exactly.
You know? Like, you chose this life.
Yeah, I've carried a combo amp before. You know, you think you know, but you know, it is just a more involved instrument. So lo and behold, there were just little things that would happen. You know, you forget sticks, you forget whatever, and see, I didn't have any of that stuff there. So I mean, literally one time, I improvised for my drummer. We were using the base of a coat hanger. You know the coat hangers that have like the pants thing out of cardboard?
Yeah, the little white tube.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
That'll work, that was the drumstick. That was his set that night. So after that, you know, I mustered up some stuff and was able to get like a very, you know, entry level set and that kind of stuff. And then I just hopped on it and fell in love with it.
I know. There's nothing like just beating out the rhythm. You really feel it.
Yes.
It's like a workout in a way.
It is. And it's, you know, I really enjoyed it because, you know, guitar is as complicated as it gets already. And then you start including your feet, you know, on drums. So it was very entertaining. That project has now, I then started another project with me playing drums. Mm-hmm. That's where the second one came from. That's the one that's still going today. It is a little bit heavier, quote unquote, not like
Like a mic down the throat, like.
Not too bad, not too bad. Thank goodness. We've got a singer. The band really reminds me a lot of like an Incubus kind of.
Okay.
It's got its fun to it. It's got its funk, but it also has, my guitarist is heavier riffer, so it does have more riff-based kind of stuff in it. But
okay, so not really metal, but I see how like Incubus in the choruses it like really drops and has like that distortion and heavy bass sound.
Yes, and we've now transitioned. My one of my favorite bands right now is If These Trees Could Talk. All instrumental, 3 guitarists, 1 bassist, drummer. Very interesting. No singer. It's all instrumental, but very beautiful kind of stuff. With a rock tilt, so it's still got a heavier tilt to it, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been
what was the name of that band again?
To be honest with you, we don't have a band yet.
The band that you mentioned just now, the instrumental stuff that you've been digging.
If These Trees Could Talk.
If These Trees Could Talk. All right.
Yes.
I'll have to check them out.
They're
cool.
very interesting. I like, guitarists. One of them is playing a telly. A telly in some heavier music is always unique to me, at least. So, they're super versatile. I actually brought one with me tonight, just with humbuckers. So I took all the fun out of the Telecaster single coils.
I'd like to know more about that. I'm primarily a classical guitarist, so the distinction you're making is sort of going over my head a little bit, as embarrassed as I am to admit it. Yeah, tell me a little bit about like.
I do that because he's a mastermind in music.
No. But I am interested in learning a lot about music, and so what is like a Telecaster? I feel like has like a brighter sound associated with like the Fender amps that go with them, the tube amp that's sort of like warm but sort of like sharp sound at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that's really cool about music today is things have come a long way. And today we're able to do a lot of different stuff with some instruments or amps or accentuation pedals, whatever it may be, expression pedals. I mean, Telecasters primarily were really a little bit more, excuse the term, twangy.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of people associate them with kind of a twangy undertone to them. I mean, think country, that kind of stuff. I mean, kind of finger picking kind of stuff.
And way back, I mean, Telecasters are like really old, right?
Yes.
Like into like the 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
60s.
And that's when
Americana.
Yes, that's when I forget his first name, but Mr. Fender came onto the scene. He was taking old bodies that were older and finding a way to construct guitars out of them. And this is just to my knowledge, so the story may be, more elaborate, and I'm sure it is. But my caveman version of it would be that he started producing these older guitars, and it was cool. Some of them back then were even pine, something they're actually bringing back today. Just for various reasons. It's just got a different sound to it, things like that. It's definitely lighter, so that's a benefit. But, Tellies today, though, they used to always come with single coil pickups, and you always had the bar pickup.
I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off.
That's perfect.
Okay, there we go. I'm sure that's not gonna
no big deal.
happen again.
So the bar pickup on the Telly is typically the one that you're going to see that's got a little angle to it as well. I mean, Tellys, they all come just like every guitar today, in many shapes and sizes. But they were very sharp, is the best way I could put it. And same thing with the traditional Stratocasters. Think Jimi Hendrix, think SRV, think of some of these guys. You're always used to seeing, you got 2 verticals and then 1 at an angle. And then we started seeing some humbuckers come in there in the 60s and things like that. Now you got shawbuckers, which have also come on the scene. But it's interesting to see the evolution of really all of those guitars, especially the Telecasters. Because they're very hot. very hot pickups.
Right, yeah, twangy is a good
Yes.
word to use. And you said that that's unusual to hear in metal.
You know, predominantly, like all of us, you know, myself included, like 10 years ago, if you'd have said, hey, the most versatile guitar out there, electric-wise, would be a Telecaster. You can play everything from, you know, let's say, Tim McGraw to, which I don't know any of his songs, but...
I like it, I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
Huge Tim McGraw buff.
All the way, you know, you can literally play SRV with it. You can play, you can literally play metal with it. But you can play everything in between, and it just sounds astounding. And you know what I personally did is went the route of taking that design, and I'm not a big lead guitar guy. Just not really my forte, so I'm not going to be the guy screaming, you know, up the fretboard. So I really enjoyed the fact that they now make them with 2 humbuckers. So you get, what you do is you take that sharpness and you round it out a little bit. You warm it up a little bit, and it's, to me, and a bias probably, because you've got the humbuckers, you're getting a little bit fuller sound. It's not as sharp. So, you know, you can still get it there, but it's not by design, you know, a really sharp guitar. And, you know, you couple that, I mean, guitar construction's so amazing. You know, you've got maple, you got rosewood, you got ebony, all your fretboard options. For me, you know, good friend of ours, Justin Thompson, you know.
He's a good guy.
He is a great guy.
So good.
He personally prefers a maple fretboard. And, you know, maple is, to me, it is sharper. It's more aggressive. It is, I mean, it's there. And I'm a guy, again, that kind of likes to be in the shadow. So the rosewood is my go-to, and, you know, that gives it a little bit more, let's call it, roundness.
For your, like, chunkity chunking?
Well, and even just for, you know, even just for chords, like, think about, like, and it's not exactly this way, but think about hitting a chord, let's just say like a G, you know, G major.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You hit a
G.
You hit a G major, and that's the only chord I know. I'm just kidding.
There's a G in there.
Somewhere.
Probably a B and a D.
Something A through G's in there somewhere.
That's a selection, a tasty selection of.
But you know, you've got a whole plethora of tones you're going to get in there. Some sharp, some a little bit rounder, deeper. Put a compressor on that, and you take that sharpness and everything else, and you just, you know, it's smoother. So that's essentially what I would say to like a rosewood fretboard compared to a maple. Is it just makes your highs a little less high, and your lowers a little bit rounder. So like it, but some guys see that that are maybe more solo oriented, or maybe just playing style. You know, they may just have a different playing style. It caters to them perfectly to have that, you know, extra oomph behind the, you know, behind that high E string. So it's really cool. You know, it's really cool how it can all culminate together.
There's so many steps from the guitar selection and the pickups through the pedal board and the amp and then the recording equipment, the interface and the DAW.
Oh man.
So many steps to the finish line that something could go wrong in.
Yes.
Or that you can profess to have an opinion of, you know?
Yes. One thing that I learned in the Black Keys project, we'll call it, was I call it order of operations, but order of pedal position.
Oh, it's very important.
More than I ever knew. And I had someone that knew a lot about it, and that fundamentally changed my whole view.
Well, you said you brought your pedal board, right? Do you want to get it as a visual aid to discuss what you landed on?
Absolutely. And And then we get to talk about drums. Bring the bag over. Sounded good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna double check the feed and make sure that we are.
Really live.
Yeah, it's not just static this whole time. You never know. Well. Oh yeah, we sound great. We look great.
It's very impressive.
All right, we are very impressive, definitely.
Got a little dust to it. So I can give you kind of a rundown.
Here, I can even zoom in for us.
Sure, perfect. So we'll start at the
Get a little
top.
fuzzy, but-
We'll be very efficient here. But polytune, right up here up top. That's the first thing I go into. I absolutely love the polytune. Super efficient, super compact.
It's nice to have. Yeah, it's nice to have it and not worry about tuning anymore. That confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just got a pretty nice clip on for my classical, and I was always worried about it.
I have a clip on in my case. I mean, I double it. I mean, I measure twice just to make sure.
That's good. Measure twice, rock once.
Rock once. There you go. Hopefully, that goes directly into a crybaby. That is just your basic wah. It is not super special. There are some different wahs and crybabies that have different internal components that fundamentally change the way that the circuit will make you sound. And I highly encourage everybody, you don't have to geek out about the stuff, but circuits in your pedals are something that you can be digital, you can be analog, you can be both. So there's a lot of things that kind of go into it that really, every guitarist knows this is your best friend because you can hit this bad boy and, like me, sound a lot better than you actually are.
But that's part of being better, is to have some knowledge base of the wah pedal that you prefer, and to do that experiment.
Yes, and let it's important. Let the instrument work for you. Don't try to overwork the instrument, and that's where like the credo in music. Less is more. They don't believe that in metal sometimes, but
the
for
KISS
me,
method.
Yes, there you
Keep it
go.
simple,
Def
stupid.
Leppard.
Yeah.
Oh, that method. I thought you were talking about the band. I was like, well, they're pretty simple. Yeah.
Put face paint on, you're gonna have a better present.
Don't forget the spandex. You've got an OC3 Super Octave. Dan Auerbach uses this one personally, so I was a sucker and copied it. Also, never a bad idea. Look at what your favorite idols are doing. For me, that's Dan Auerbach. You already know this one's coming. Adam Jones of Tool.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So and he uses a different wah. Still a crybaby, just actually one of the original Dunlop crybabies.
I'm gonna stop you on each one, so I just want
Sure.
to get you prepared because we got a whole hour to eat up. We get
Cool.
halfway
Oh, okay.
through.
Oh, okay, good.
Of the chat portion. Yeah, I looked for a bunch of different octave pedals. Do you like that one?
I do, but I'll warn you. I've used it very, very little.
Okay, gotcha.
So I haven't, I've not found an abundance of scenarios where I need it, and a lot of that is my bassist would be, pulling that sound wave.
Of course, yeah. Or if you're using the octave up, right? That's usually for a lead line that you're shredding.
Yes, and I'm not a big
guy.
I'm not there. I use it more for the octave down.
Mm-hmm.
And it works great. It's simple to use. You've only got 4 knobs. I like to stick, as you can tell, I'm not a big knob guy on any pedal. Some people are. My theory is, the less opportunity I have to screw up the tone, the better.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, there are some ginormous
impressive
pedal boards out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, and very impressive. I mean, EQD, which I've got a few, I've got a Earthquaker device on here. JHS does some different stuff as far as big pedals with a lot of controls. I always say, I mean, again, if you want to take the time to master that pedal and understand how it can work in unison with your other constituents, I think you're doing yourself a great service. I mean, I can't say that enough. One mistake I've seen personally, and one of my good friends has also done himself, is not giving a pedal the proper attention, just thinking, oh man, I gotta turn it here, oh man, I gotta turn it there, and it should sound perfect. They are so flexible. It's really amazing. So, take the time, learn your pedals. For me, best advice I give kids, and even musicians are a lot better than me, is just the fact that, take the opportunity to understand a lot of pedals you want to be subtle. You don't want them to be the whole sound.
I remember this one episode of Full House
that
I watched when I was growing up.
Little Bob Saget coming out, okay.
Yeah, that's right. And R.I.P.
Hey, there we go.
But I remember one episode, and I don't remember which of the daughters was wearing too much makeup, and the lesson was like, you only want to wear as much makeup as like nobody would notice.
Yes.
You don't want to like noticeably have. I mean, maybe that's actually a conservative point from the 90s that doesn't really apply these days, but
still the same. Still very applicable.
A good metaphor for pedals or effects in a DAW, like plugins.
Yes.
Really, less is more.
It's true. I mean, I see, and hear it all the time. You'll be playing with some people, and just the reverb is like, whoa.
Some people just play the reverb.
Correct. I'm like, man, you could have just plugged in a reverb pedal. Like, you didn't even have to turn on the amp.
Some of these electronic people, with synths and ambient music, it's just they'll use like the Valhalla plugin.
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just everywhere these days.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It sounds good,
but it's a lot.
I don't want to hear like a whole album of it.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something, and we'll get to reverb here in a second, but
I was just going to say about the octave pedal, but I was looking for one. I've got the loop pedal, and I play my classical guitar at like cocktail hours and stuff, and I would have liked to have, or I was looking for a loop pedal to like do a walking bass line to loop and then play over it. And trying out the Boss loop pedals, it sounded like a little synthy almost, like a little. It wasn't replicating
the actual loop pedal.
Oh, I'm sorry, the octave pedal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't really it didn't sound like an acoustic bass anymore. You know what I mean? It sounded like this lower sort of, a little artificial.
Well, and
I forget what I landed on though.
And that comes down a lot to your circuit. Inside your pedal, different companies use different circuits, we'll call it, and different transistors and diodes and all the fun stuff that goes inside these things.
Dude, oh yeah, I know. We've got a couple of pedal manufacturers here in Asheville, right? And Make Noise. Does peak pedals. I went with the Sub and Up by TC. Yeah,
you can't go wrong with that.
That one seemed pretty good.
Those are all good. I love that digital delay, the Boss.
The digital delay is great, but there was an upgrade one that you could clock that had tap tempo, I think, but this one doesn't. I was bummed about that. This pedal board's not ready yet, but I just want to check out the that Octaver.
Well, and I mean, octaves, they've got their place.
Let's move on. I've kept you there for too long.
You're good. Keeley, I went with a Keeley compressor. Honestly, I did not know much about the compressor market. There's a lot of, I mean, as you all know, there's millions of pedals out there. A lot. Keeley just, continuously had a lot of great musicians using it. Looked really, really great on all the reviews. I just, took a chance. It's got 4 knobs on it. For me personally, I'd love 2, but 4, it gives you a lot of ability to do a lot with it, and that's something, cheat codes are always great. And Keeley, as well as pretty much every pedal company you see here, including yours, when you buy the pedal, look up the pedal's user manual. And you can get that digitally, or you can get that, in the box. And they'll give you 5 or 10, or sometimes 3 or 4, whatever it may be, pre-settings to put your knobs onto. And then I just take that as my foundation, and then tweak it. Exactly, exactly. So one was like a Nashville lead, one was something else. So I took one of those few, and then just tweaked it a little, and found the sound that I really liked. So just kept it easy.
It's important to keep those manuals, because sometimes I'll blank. Like, that's why I was searching through that drawer a minute ago.
Yeah.
And I've got like all of the synth manuals over there.
It matters.
There will be like a question like that pops up. Like, oh, it says tone here, but what does that actually mean?
Exactly.
What is this tone knob like actually doing?
Yes.
Because newsflash, tone knobs do all sorts of stuff.
Every single company has a different definition.
Yeah.
Literally. And every pedal, even within the same company, can have a totally different definition. So if you can't hold on to them, or let's say you go on Reverb or something and you buy something secondhand, which is not a bad idea either, for cost effectiveness.
Reverb's great.
It is, and you can, and GC, whoever it may be, you can actually access a lot of these manuals online. So you might be in band practice and crap. I don't remember what you bring your pedal board and everything gets. You might as well just thrown it out the window. Google it really quick. You can pull it up right there on your phone and get back to action.
Definitely.
Yeah, easy way to keep you where you need to be.
And you're making the other members of your band do that all the time. Like, from the drums, you're like, hey, you need more tone on that compressor. And the guitarist is like, uh-oh. And like,
exactly.
Sort of hides from you for a minute, figures it out.
No, on the drums, I'm quiet back there. I just try to keep it into 4/4, make sure it's on time, a little jazz and 6/8, but keep it.
Brushes.
I try to. Drums are even better for the guy that likes playing rhythm guitar, because I can be even more invisible. But.
That is the trick about drums. You almost want to not be noticed.
Yes.
If everybody's noticing you, something's going wrong.
Yeah, you're overplaying it. Yeah, you're overplaying it.
I'm terrible at that, because I am a lead guy, a melodic guy. I like to be out in front.
So drums are
all over the place.
You're having a bunch of fun back there.
Yeah.
And there's times and places for all of that, and that's that was always my problem with guitars, and still is. I hate sitting still, so I'll be trying to add something to a melody that just doesn't need to be there, so
right.
Always start at step 1 and build.
It's a taste thing too. I like just too much. I like being overstimulated, so, and that's why I'm distracting you though, but maybe the perfect amount. I think we're moving along.
You're good. And I got plenty of fun stuff for you on drums too, as far as information.
Oh, good.
Just fun, different things.
Well, I might have to have you back, too. I don't know.
That's fine. Wampler, I went with a Velvet Fuzz. This, fuzz pedals and overdrive pedals, you can really, and even boost pedals. So if you take 2 boost pedals and put them together, you now have an overdrive.
Oh, definitely. Do you have a boost on here?
I actually don't. So I have a fuzz, and then I have... excuse me, this Plumes overdrive. Both of these, having both of these is a little bit of overkill. That's just me. Wampler, don't sue me. Neither do you, Earthquaker. But having them together, there's some options here where you can differentiate. But I will say they are both such good pedals. You can literally get away with one.
Oh yeah, but if you did have a boost pedal, you put it right before those, after the compressor, right?
Correct.
Because you wouldn't want to boost something before you compress it, because that wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly.
And you do want your boost before the drive if you want to crunch it more.
Correct.
But some people put their boosts after the drive,
correct,
so that when they hit the boost, it doesn't crunch more.
Correct.
They preserve the tone. So some people have 2 boosts.
All preferential.
In their signal flow.
Yeah, absolutely. All preferential. I've seen guys put the wah, last, which is very odd. But for me, it's all a taste thing. But I've seen some stuff where I'm like, man, I didn't really think of that. And same thing with your fuzz going into your overdrive going into your fuzz. You've got some options. You've got some options.
Fuzz into overdrive seems instinctual to me, though, too. I think I agree with your setup.
It's
on a gut level.
Yeah, I mean and also these are really interchangeable. Only because I could live without one of them and be totally fine. The Wampler Velvet Fuzz has actually got a really nice big and tight setting here on the pedal. And it's great. If you go big, I want you to think fuzz like Hendrix, like really broken up. You're over fuzzing it. I mean, like it's big sound. Even some Black Keys kind of stuff.
Yeah,
tight,
that makes sense.
Tight. You're getting more of an overdrive. You really are, even though it's a fuzz pedal. Tight tightens that sound so well. I mean, they really, it's a hybrid pedal in my personal opinion, but phenomenal one. That was my first one that I bought. Got lucky on that, and it was great. Probably one of my favorite pedals ever created, just for my style, is the Plumes from Earthquaker Devices.
It's a nice name.
Yes.
Plumes of like distortion. It's very evocative.
It does everything. It has, without the manual in front of me, unfortunately, I cannot remember every element of the transistors that are in here. But by design, you have two different types inside of pedals. So you have silicone and germanium. Silicone has a different sound than germanium. Germanium has a different sound than silicone. So think of like Big Muff pedals back in the day. Those were germanium. So those were very unique sounding pedals. They started, the Big Muff pedal came out in '68. My favorites, the Triangle, the original, really cool. And then, you had like 5 to 7 different renditions of Big Muffs. You had the big green Russian ones and all that kind of stuff.
So what is germanium more rare, and is the
silicone?
What are the difference in sound?
So germanium.
I like using the artist's examples. That's very
yeah. So like germanium is gonna be a little bit smoother, so to say, whereas silicone's gonna be a little bit like. Let's just say, I hate using the word fuzzy because it's not a fuzz pedal. So like, don't think fuzz pedal when I say fuzzy, but it'll be a little bit more fuzzy. So a little bit more prickly kind of deal. Germanium though is from overseas, so it is harder to find and a little bit more cost. It has a little bit more cost element to it. But a lot of times you'll either see somebody it'll either be silicone or germanium. They put both in this.
Oh, okay.
So you have the ability with this pedal to do either or.
Is that the switch in the middle?
So there's
back and forth.
Yeah, there is a mode switch here, and it actually has 3 different settings. I know one gives you silicone, one gives you germanium. Naturally, I would think Goldilocks right in the middle would be, best of both worlds. But and don't quote me on that, because again, I got to check the manual, because I've found the sound that I love, and I've just kept it on it. I need to take my own advice from earlier and explore more of the pedal.
Yeah.
But awesome overdrive pedal. Just to have it on the board is an Ibanez Tube Screamer.
Really gotta go the extra
mile. And to be honest with you, it is so overkill, and you can kind of tell I play a little bit like more rock than anything, because it's a Tube Screamer is a glorified overdrive to me. You could consider it a boost. You could absolutely consider it a boost.
And what about the term just distortion pedal? Is that more of a rectangle, that more of a genre that includes fuzz and overdrive?
So a distortion pedal, you're going to get a lot of gain effect. So think of.
So are these distortion pedals, or is that a completely separate?
Correct. Okay. So like a Boss makes a great one. I even think the Buzz Aldrin from the Melvins. He's a big Boss pedal guy. He I'm trying to think of someone that would use a DS1. Maybe even, to be honest with you, well, I don't have anybody right in the back of my mind right now that would use one, but a distortion.
I want to say like Green Day is huge into Boss, but
potentially, and
that might be.
And that was the thing, Boss was the go-to, especially back in the day for these touring bands.
They're like indestructible.
And by the way, every music shop has them.
Yeah.
So like if you break your Wampler, you got to order it. You don't know who's got one. If you break your Boss OC3, every music shop on the East Coast, West Coast, and all in between has got a Boss Octave Pedal.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it was an easy way. That's why Adam Jones still to this day uses a Boss digital delay, uses some Boss pedals. Plugged into a diesel is kind of unique.
But Adam Jones, if he breaks a pedal, he's gonna send like 3 interns on a crazy adventure to go find that pedal.
Yes. It's and he's one that I do really thoroughly enjoy because of that. That even though that band has gone from really that was the grunge band of the early '90s, and then all of a sudden our generation has really inflated them as far as fame and love and everything.
I mean, that album, Fear Inoculum, is like the best thing that has come out.
It's impressive.
In the past decade.
It's impressive.
It's
and
so good.
I saw them live, and I really wanted to see Tempest. That's one of my favorites on that album. But they literally
skip it.
Yeah, and I understand why. I understand why. But they played everything else, and that blew my mind. Because they, you hear a studio album, and you always wonder, man, did they orchestrate that or did they play that?
That's the amazing thing about that album, though. Every note is so justified, like in a way that only a player would make the decision to put that note there.
Yes.
And
took their time with it.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, a decade or so. Have you seen the video of the drummer like close up playing live at?
I've seen him play Numa live.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very good, and he's just the whole band is impressive. But Tube Screamer is just a little bit of a boost, a little bit of an overdrive. Everybody loves these things. TS9s is what they are. There's many different versions of them, again with different internals. Mm-hmm. And it blows me away when you start delving into everything. It's very, very wide and very deep genre as far as guitars and effects and things like that. So that one I honestly never use. And again, don't sue me, Ibanez. It's just it doesn't give me the sound that I want, and I've already got 2 others that will.
It is like it's like I want to say like Van Halen. Just like jumping off the wall, sort of like crazy.
Absolutely.
So it does connote this like 80s sort of like wiling out that
would make perfect sense.
Pretty rare to like need these days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's just a different arena in rock today than it was back then.
It's not like I go to a ton of rock shows, but I feel like and maybe also it's like Asheville's vibe, but everything's more like funky.
Here it is.
Days.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And that's. I think there's beauty in both. And being able to kind of mend the two and intertwine them makes it interesting. Because Asheville's definitely got a funk tilt to it.
In the country's like right out. You know, right around the bend.
So to speak, it absolutely is. And you've seen some guys kind of mix it in. It's been very interesting to me to see the genres evolve. You see guys that are there's rock guys that are hip hop, and there's hip hop that's doing a rock song. All this kind of unique stuff that's going on. Guys in country playing a little bit harder riffs and stuff, whereas it used to be a little bit more subdued. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. I think for all music. It's supposed to be.
It's
open.
a great time for music, but I don't even know. And I still just get stuck on listening to the Gorillaz all day long. And
evolutionary for their time period.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk about mixing genres.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, will blow. I mean, still, I haven't, don't hold this against me. I haven't listened to them in years. And then you just said, and I can already hear some of their songs, and I'm going, whoa. How did they pull it off in the time frame that they were in? But nonetheless, TS9, great pedal. You guys do your thing. JHS started out as a boutique. He was a guy doing pedal reviews.
Yeah, his YouTube channel's huge.
Yes, so that's where he started. He was doing nothing but pedal reviews, and then I guess, started to discover how to create them, and started creating them. I mean, he has a lot of pedals. I mean, probably 1,000 different pedals on his site. This is a JHS 3 series. They just came out with this a couple years back. It's called a 3 series for the 3 knobs. Mm-hmm. Very simplistic to use. Very, very intuitive to use. It makes it very easy to mess around with. Now, I will preface that with I personally play at home through a Blues Junior, which already has reverb embedded in it. So, oftentimes if I know I'm playing a very reverb-heavy song, yes. If I'm not, I'll really just use the reverb built in, because on that amp, it's spring reverb, and it's real spring reverb.
Oh, okay.
So it's analog.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so these are digital reverbs. So, and everything you can have analog delay, like this carbon copy, compared to your digital, they both sound amazing. Just your
analog,
nuance.
I mean, you gotta go with the analog. The grandmother over there, that synthesizer, has a spring reverb built into it. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
There are downsides because the spring reverb will hear other stuff that's going on stage.
Because so it's flowing through the spring.
Yeah, exactly. So that can be a con. If it's in an amp, I think it's one thing, but when it's in the synthesizer, it could be picking up other stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think of something like that.
Yeah, I think that that the engineers have since thought about that.
I'm sure. I hope.
Right.
MXR, carbon copy, analog delay.
Solid brand, MXR. Talk about Hendrix.
Yes, I mean, just all day, and keeping it simple. The one thing I love about this delay, it will act as much like a reverb as I want it. And it can be a delay if I need it, but I actually use it as a little bit of a slapback effect. Give you that kind of just, almost 2 guitars, kind of layered sound at once.
Yeah, very low feedback. So
yes.
You just get the one slap.
That's it. And, keep it. I mean, and you can see it. I mean, I think that's my, my regen's all the way down. My mix is usually way down as well. I was messing around with an orange amp yesterday. Very good amp. Amazing. It blew me away. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But solid delay pedal. And I highly encourage guys to explore how little delay they can use in the sense of kind of like that slapback effect. Some of the coolest stuff I've ever found effect-wise was with a delay pedal just barely using any delay. Using it in a different orthodox, but nonetheless, amazing pedal. And they're built like tanks.
Widen the sound a little bit,
Yes.
A cool trick that I found that works better with like electronic music, but in a DAW, like Pro Tools, you can take the pitch shift and unlink them and detune the left ear from the right ear, and it widens the sound in a similar way of like that sort of very brief echo.
Cheat code, guys. That's it.
That's a cool tip.
That's a cheat code.
I use it all the time now, and it's really weird. Maybe I'll show you by the time you leave, because it's sort of like very jarring when you hear it happen, but then you would never notice it, and especially in a mix.
Yeah. That's unique. And winding it out, and then I'll tell you about the power blocks underneath.
Sure.
Ditto looper, TC Electronics, super simple looper. They do make a bigger version. My buddy told me the bigger versions are awesome. They actually have two knobs. This one, that's the one challenge with this one. Solid, but it is very difficult to double tap it in the middle of a song to stop it.
Totally. The risk is high.
Yes, and that's one where like if you're gonna have it, it's the most simple looper ever to use. Tap it once, you're good. Tap it again, you're looping. I mean, it is that simple. But you've got to double tap it to stop it. So that's the thing. I used to hold it down to stop it as well, and just keep playing with it, like kind of bring it back to the loop and just play the loop, and it would fall out eventually. But it's a little messy. So yeah,
definitely.
It's a little like you would notice if you were in the audience. You would say, that was that wasn't as smooth as it should have been.
Yeah, you really need the dedicated. In that drawer behind you, we've got the newer Boss 220. What is it called? I don't know. But
looper.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's got the track select button and then a stop and start.
So that's what I would say. If you're gonna loop a lot, which I don't do, I only looped on one song, so it was like to have it. It's there, but for me, there's the Boss. TC makes a looper that's great. I think it's called the 720. Really amazing looper. It's got a huge catalog where you can store loops, all kinds of stuff. Like,
gotcha.
If you're a serious looper, go for it. But for me, I just keep it exponentially simple and basic. The best part about this whole pedal board is what's underneath it, and that is 2 Strymon Ouijas, is what they are. So you take one power block and you get this adapter, right? So you plug the adapter into the power block. You've then got 5 ports on that block, and they're all 220s, I believe. Strymon does that. Different power blocks. Some will have some that are 9 volts, some that are 125, some that are 220, whatever it is, and it may be 250. I may have that wrong, but Strymon just goes across the board. You get 5 at the top of the food chain. I like that because different pedals, none of these do, but different pedals require different power sources. Some of your old pedals require a lot of power. Like if you get a vintage, like a real vintage pedal from 1968.
Like the Big Muff?
Yes, sir. Like you buy one of those. It's going to need more power because they weren't as efficient with their designs back then. They just, it's like a computer today. It's more efficient than it was 25 years ago. So, then the thing I love about the Strymons, you just get an extension block. And you plug it into your original block, and you get 5 more.
Daisy chain and blocks.
That's it.
And the block itself has a bunch of inputs that you are plugging the power cord into, that then plugs into the pedal. Is that right?
So yes. So think of it like this: you plug the adapter into the power block, and then on the other side you have 5 different ports where you plug in your power cords.
Gotcha.
Power cord, power cord into one port, power cord into the other port. Then you take your other block underneath here, and you plug it directly in next to where the adapter is. It has 2 ports back there for power. One power going in, one power going out. So you can daisy chain them like you mentioned. And I think Strymon guarantees like no law, and Strymon's a phenomenal company. I mean,
totally.
They don't play around on the price, but right. I will give it to them. It's
I
quality
really want one
stuff.
of those blue Skye.
It's the
reverb
most beautiful.
pedals.
The blue Skye I highly recommend. The big Skye is its big brother.
Oh, am I just
No, you're on. So blue Skye. Blue Skye's
okay.
the it's about yay big, and then the big Skye is like that big.
Oh, okay.
And it's got like a little digital window on it on the big Skye.
Yeah, you need the bigger pedal board to fit that.
Man, the big Skye's like $500 or something like that. I mean, the blue Skye's enough. I think those are over $250, $300. But Strymon will allow you to daisy chain these blocks. If you had a huge board, I think you could put like 3 or 4 of them together.
That's cool. I use the word daisy chaining because I had the thought because my pedal board over there, that's how the power is working on that. But I've got a suspicion that it's causing some noise.
So that's and that's the risk you run. I will say, I've got a buddy. You don't have to go Strymon. I've got a buddy with I think a TC Electronics block. I mean, it's got like 9 ports on it. I mean, you can do a lot. And
Yeah,
again,
9 seems like enough. What do you got here? You got
I've got
4,
10.
6, 8, 10. Yeah.
So I've maxed it out at this point.
You've got the swath too of all the big names. You've got the Boss, the JHS, MXR.
Yep, Earthquaker.
What are you missing? There's no Moog on here.
There is not a Moog, but you guys carry, or Moog carries Earthquaker.
Oh yeah, in their store.
Sure enough, yeah, they carry Earthquaker in their store.
That makes sense.
We got TC Electronics in there.
Yeah, that's a huge name.
I'm trying to think of some other like major names. Harbinger, but don't. Pigtronics is in there.
They've got some cool stuff.
There's, and that's the cool thing about the pedal world. There's Asheville Guitar Pedals. Our buddy Tripp actually just started building custom pedals.
Okay.
His pedals are, he's got some interesting stuff.
I hope they're more creative than his business name.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, nothing left to question,
Shots
right?
fired, Tripp.
And I think it was fuzzy animal pedals for a little while.
Okay.
But I don't know if he stuck with that or not.
I feel like then you're limited to fuzzy pedals.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I might pressure you to use that here in a minute, but we've hit the hour. That's great. Thank you so much for talking to me about pedals and indulging me there. That's great.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna put up a "Be Right Back" thing on the screen, and so then we will discuss what we're going to play and be right back. All right. Thanks. Oh, hey, Julia Lawrence saying we're looking good. Thank you. Nice. And congratulations on the engagement. That's great.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Julia, we will be back. All right. And live stream already began at 8, so we want this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and And we're back. All right, so let's make sure that we got these camera angles that in a way that we like. So I was very proud of these combined shots that I had earlier. I'm going to be standing up and sort of over here, so maybe everybody can see the back of me. I'll stand sort of over here. And then as for you, we will want you to actually be in the camera. And I'm just rocking the bass because we're keeping it simple. And I mean, we could incorporate some of this, you know, some of these, that
is interesting.
I'm getting a little noise out of that, so let's not.
Some Moog?
Yeah, that's some Moog
That's
stuff.
amazing.
The classic Moog filter. Oh, yeah.
I switched tempo from 6/8 to 4/4 in the middle of that, so I feel really bad.
Not at all, man. I feel bad too. I'm not. I don't play bass that much. I thought it would be easier and simpler, but I'm like, what do I even do on this thing? I just hold down the root for a long time. It's hard to be that patient, but we're trying to keep it simple. Less is more.
And that's why when I did that, I was like, I'm supposed to be just giving him a nice 4/4, but the 6/8 thing was too tempting when you were playing earlier. Yeah, exactly. It was too tempting. So I'll give you a nice 4/4 bass, and then you can just have a blast with it.
Okay. Let's see what I got. I want a bigger sound though. I'm trying to go into 6/8 too.
It's okay. It's okay.
You know what? I think I am gonna switch to the guitar.
Cool. I'm gonna grab a sip of lemon freshness while you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's my nickname in high school.
I'll play some waiting music for everybody.
Cool. I got that bass riff in my head now.
Nice. This is fun though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super cool to try to like get something practical happening with my whole setup over there. Like, can I do this? Oh yeah.
It's dude, I mean, it's cool that you're trying to do something like this with it, because you've got all the ability. Like, I mean, kind of like you were saying, like, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like,
why
why-
haven't I been doing it?
Stuff. Yeah, that thing's cool. It's so unique.
Yeah, right?
It's so unique. Oh man, and it's a solid body.
Oh yeah.
Like no bolt on.
Oh right, it's glued.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Really?
But it's very finely made. And it's got all these options for like which
Yeah,
pickups
yeah,
are going to
you
be
can-
used, you
and
know?
You can coil tap. That's nuts. I can't believe that's glued. Honestly, that looks just like a gib. Like that looks like one solid.
Nah, you can see the different textures.
Is there? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing though. They did a good job with those.
Yeah.
When did you get
it's
it, like,
a
in high
wonderful
school?
guitar. Yeah. And one time I ran it over,
Oh my god.
and it's still good.
Oh my god.
I know. I probably shouldn't say that loudly. It was in the case.
That's still crazy to think about.
I was horrified. Somewhere
Yeah.
there's like on the high school security camera me like getting out of my car, realizing what I did, and like down on my knees, like throwing open the case and being so like relieved that it was okay. Do you like the waiting music? Yeah. Yeah, nice.
I liked it though. I liked it. It took me a second to get on it, and then once I got that groove, I love that groove though.
It's nice, yeah, to be able to just set up a bass sequence like that.
I know, that's done. Are you tapping that in? Is that what you're doing over there?
Yeah, just like, just record it in one note at a time.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I can do it with the matriarch with multiple notes at once, which is really nice.
That's pretty crazy.
So we can get some swells going. Maybe
I can't believe you're spoiled with that thing. That's crazy.
It sounds really nice.
Oh man, that's crazy to be able to do all that, like orchestrate all that right there. Now you're also a mastermind with knowing how to work it, but.
Dude, I have so much to learn about all of it. Do you want to hop on guitar? We only have like about 10 minutes left. You want to save that till next time?
Yeah. We can. What we'll do next, if you'll have me another day, we'll do it in reverse. So we'll do like a bunch of drum info, and then I'll hop on a guitar. You know what I mean?
Just to keep the inconsistency. Yeah, totally. Well, here, why don't I do try to make something digestible with all the gizmos over here?
Sure.
I'm gonna take the guitar off. Now you seemed to like this. Start with the bass.
You good? Absolutely. It's a blast.
Thank you.